in Gaelic polytheism, there really is not. There's not a creation myth. It's just reading the lore. It reads as if basically Ireland was always there, just as it is. That things basically never do change, never have changed. What comes closest to a origin story is the accounting of a series of conquests of Ireland. So you have one group coming to Ireland and conquering it, and then another group coming and beating them, and another group coming and beating them, so on and so forth. So how does that fit into my worldview? Is that there was no beginning, there is no end. It does seem to me that the sort of linear worldview of Christianity is distinguishable from the traditional cyclical kind of static, if you will, worldview. The linear worldview is a progressive worldview, and I mean that in every sense of that phrase, of that word, including the political worldview. Progressive liberal ideal is this linear idea of progression, that we're different from our ancestors, that history is something to be liberated from, and we're going to this great future that's out there, and so we don't want to be shackled by the ways of the past, and we want to go into a bold and greater, more brighter future. Okay, that's progressivism. That there's an evolution. We're evolving. We're so much evolved from from our brutish ancestors, and I think there's a big danger in that. It throws out all of history, really. It ignores history. History isn't something to learn from. Our ancestors are not those to learn from. And trades it in for some nice sounding ideas, but without any kind of grounding in reality and in history. And I contrast that with the conservative, cyclical, if you will, worldview. I believe that paganism, there's nothing more conservative than paganism. Paganism is ultimately extremely conservative. That respect for your ancestors, respect for history, that we're basically no different. We have not changed. And I think certainly biology and anthropology and such bear that out, that we are essentially no different from our ancestors who discovered fire and moved out of their caves. We're not different. We're softer. We live longer lives because of our technology, but the technology does not make us better, does not make us better. We're not spiritually evolved just because we understand mathematics better, and because we can read. The biggest turning point in my life was when I really had that realization that we are no different from our ancestors. They were just as smart. They had the same feelings, the same problems, the same brains. What they did made sense. They weren't stupid. Once I realized that, it completely changed how I looked at everything. So anyway, remember your ancestors. And may they remember you.